Welcome everyone to First Wednesday virtually. This is really kind of cool. We'll see if we continue doing this going forward. We do have a great session next week as well, focusing on marketing during these COVID-19 times, and looking forward to finally getting back in the saddle and getting out and opening up businesses again. And
yeah.
Just for those of you who don't know who we are a New York State agency focusing exclusively on the small business community. We offer confidential one-on-one counseling to small businesses of every shape and size, and that means everybody from those just thinking about starting to those who maybe are already third generation and everything else in between. The focus is on the one-on-one counseling. During normal times, we would do this in our office, but we're all working from home these days, and so we have the opportunity now to do Zoom sessions as well, teleconferencing and so on and so forth. So we are very heavily involved right now with the funding side of the grants and the loans available through SBA and through the banks, the PPP and the EIDL. If you have questions on that or need forms or anything along those lines, we can certainly address that with you. You can call our main number. We are checking for messages regularly, and we'll get back to you, and that is at 585-395-8410. Also, you can go to our website. We have lots of information there on COVID-19, the various loan programs that exist, and also means to schedule an appointment with us. Just click on the button to schedule an appointment. The website is nyssbdc.org, and we look forward to meeting with you. And if you have further questions, by all means, let us know. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy the program and hope you will continue to join us going forward. Thanks.
All right. Well, thanks, Jan. For everyone, good morning. My name is Lori Enos, and I am the co-owner of Blue Lilac Marketing Group. My business partner, Mary Spear, is on also. So if you want to talk to her, she is in the chat. You can grab her in chat, Mary Spear, S-P-E-R-R. And we're always happy to answer any marketing questions that you may have. And like Jennifer said when she started, if you have questions, when I present live, I don't mind being interrupted, so feel free to ask questions. And Jan is going, or Jan and Jen, this is going to be fun. Jan and Jen. Jennifer will interrupt me with any of your questions. So let's get going here. So you want to learn how to navigate your social media during this COVID-19 crisis, right? And let's see if I can get my computer to decide it wants to work for me. Here we go. So there are two ways you can use social media. The first is for commercial purposes. That's where you brand, you sell, and you market your business. And the second way is you're connecting with your customers. And more importantly, you're giving them a platform where they can bond together. And hopefully you can see there's a distinction between using social media to talk to your customers versus using social media to talk with your customers, and then have them talk to each other through your brand. So right now, community and emotional support is what is needed, and using the social media to connect with customers' way of working is what you should be doing. So you need to adapt your social media to our times. You need to be able to give real-time context. What is happening now in your business? When this all started, I have a lot of clients that we do social media for, and I schedule it out. And I had to go in and revisit all the and change and delete a lot of scheduled posts because they just seemed out of place for the time that we're in. Like you can't call for an appointment or stop in and shop, that type of information. So you need to make sure that you've got your social media giving real-time information as to what's going on in your industry, but making sure that your posts aren't perceived as distasteful or that you're totally unaware of what's going on, right? So there's some great examples out there of people offering free resources. So Zoom is a really good example. They have a fabulous free version that they have increased to being very robust, more so than their normal free version, because everybody is using them. You've probably seen offers of watching Broadway plays, or maybe your favorite musicians having a concert or working from home and offering music. So this is great ways of people and brands rebranding for the time. One resource I want to share from my industry is Hootsuite is a scheduling tool that I use for our business and for our clients' businesses to schedule out their social media. And they are offering free access to their professional level Hootsuite plan for free until July 1st. So if you've never used Hootsuite, or you're considering or thinking about trying to schedule your posts, this is a really good time to give them a shot. Hootsuite, you see how it's spelled there on the screen. It's hootsuite.com. Go there. I pulled this phrase right out of their press release about this. So this is one of the things, like real-time context stuff you should share with your audience. So I would share this information with my clients, my customers, my fans, and obviously with you. So right now, you want to learn how you market your business on social media right now during this COVID-19 crisis. Well, think about this as a season to communicate. You can't afford to stop marketing or selling, and that includes posting on social media. And your followers are spending more time online than ever before. Facebook and Instagram, for example, have seen a 40% increase in usage due to the crisis because people are quarantining at home, they're bored, and they're on social media. And views on Instagram Live and Facebook Live doubled in 1 week. It's just amazing how many people are on and using these platforms. But just because people are spending more time on social media doesn't mean it's business as usual. What it does do is present you with a unique opportunity to deepen your relationship with your audience and increase your brand loyalty. So you can't just be running business as usual, or you risk coming across as tone deaf to an audience with heightened anxieties and sensitivities. And the hardest part is it feels like our world is changing day by day, or maybe even hour by hour. When this all started, we have a real estate agent who's a client, and the realtors were told, well, you can go into houses as long as you have masks on and gloves and provide Purell, all that stuff. So my client sent me all the new rules, asked me to put together an email blast that she could send out to her clients. So I composed that, sent that off to her the next morning. And she says, Lori, they changed all the rules. Everything I sent you last night doesn't even work now. So be prepared for your industry to be able to real time notify your followers of any changes that are happening. All right. And this may mean you have to become a little bit, more human on your social media. And it's at the same time, being human, like, well, gee, I told you this was the way it was, and now it's this way today. You're also trying to market and sell. So it's a very fine line that you're walking. But remember, this is all brand new territory for every business. No one is an expert on how to market your business on social media through a global pandemic. Not even me, I'm sorry. But I do have some ideas for you that you can implement. And right now, what I want to share with you are some guiding principles that you should think about when you're writing your posts and making decisions as this crisis evolves. The first one is listen and acknowledge. By ignoring COVID-19 and pretending like everything is normal, you come across as inauthentic at best and tone deaf at worst. Let your followers know you're listening and acknowledge our new normal. Even saying something like, it feels weird to promote something right now, but, and then do your promotion, that can go a long way in showing your followers that you're listening and caring. It sounds simple, but just adding that context and acknowledging the current climate really does make a difference in humanizing your brand. You definitely want to keep posting. Your followers, like I said, are spending more time online than ever before, and you want to stay connected with them. If you're unable to market or sell your products or services right now, focus on sharing content that aligns with your brand values instead. And be empathetic. This crisis is affecting everyone around the world, but in different ways. Remember to think outside of your own situation and have empathy for your followers and offer compassion. And with this in mind, think twice before posting memes. They're perfect. Memes are great on your personal page. I'm seeing them all over the place on mine from friends, and that's fine. That's where you can, bash people, laugh about the situation, or cry about the situation. But the funny stuff shouldn't be on your business page now. One of our clients has got this fabulous sarcastic wit, and her posts are usually filled with that. And I've noticed that even her posts are toned down. She's not being that way online, which is a smart move. So you don't have to mention the COVID-19 explicitly in all of your content, but you do need to take into consideration the tone of your content and how it could be interpreted by people facing a different reality than you may be in. Remember that your followers may have lost their job, or they may be homeschooling teenagers while working from home, or even yet they may be working from home with a toddler, or they may be sick themselves or have somebody they love that's sick. So just keep all that in mind. First you need to acknowledge that this may be a weird time to be promoting a sale, for example, if you're a retail establishment. But you need to acknowledge that not everyone is in a position to shop right now. And then tell them that, saying something like that shows them that you're being empathetic and thinking about all of your followers and not just the ones who can afford to shop. If you were a retailer and this was the last day of your sale in normal times, you'd be posting something like, last chance, don't miss out, that hard sale kind of thing, just to keep, the sale up in front of your followers. But now you need to be more subdued. Instead of the hard sell, you can simply state important info like, the percentage of the discount and when the sale ends, and allow your followers to decide to take action if they want to. You want to provide organic value. Turn your social media into a valuable resource for your audience. Focus on engagement first instead of driving traffic. I always tell my clients the purpose of social media is to drive traffic to your website so they can learn more about you. Website is where you can put that in-depth detail where you can't get that on your social media, and it's where they can people can do your call to action, whether it's download your ebook or sign up for your newsletter, or they can purchase from your website if you are have an e-commerce site, or they can fill out the contact form and reach out to you. But now you need to not be driving people so much there as providing value. Provide extra education through maybe you're doing some videos or your content that you're providing, instead of constantly asking people to, click on this link or to buy something. And then again, you can ask for help. If you're struggling, it's okay to lean on your community. That's what they're there for, right? You can get vulnerable in your content. Share your story and clearly communicate to your followers how they can support your business right now. Just remember, we're all in this together. So now that you've got these 5 social media principles to guide you through communicating during this crisis, let's dive into some specific types of content that you can and should be posting, and some things you can do to prepare yourself for the post-pandemic world. The type of social media content that you'll be posting right now is directly related to the state of your business and how COVID-19 is affecting your industry. You'll either have a goal of retention, a goal of sales, or a goal of awareness. So I've broken this into a couple different scenarios of business where businesses are at right now. So the first one is you're open but hustling. So many retail and restaurants are in this category. You're really stressed and you're really busy right now, and you're really leaning on social media to get your messages out. So in addition to posting to your news feed, I recommend that you post to stories every day. Stories can be found on Facebook and Instagram, and they are those, depending on the platform, at the top or in the middle, those are the posts that are only up for 24 hours. So think about this. You're a restaurant and today's special is, what do I feel like eating? Chicken parm. And so you post a story this morning that today's special is chicken parm. And your fans will get used to, you're going to train them to look at stories so they can see that, oh, today's special is chicken parm. And as today's story disappears, you're writing tomorrow's story for chicken French is what's the special. Well, I like chicken, I guess, and I'm hungry. So use those stories that way. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Trust me, nobody's expecting perfection in these stories, because they are something that just goes up and disappears in 24 hours. If you are a retail shop, I don't know if you're aware, but you can shop through Instagram. You can tag products in posts and stories on Instagram, and people can purchase your products. This is a whole separate workshop, trust me. But if you Google this, how to connect to Instagram shopping, there's a form you have to fill out and those steps you can walk through, but you don't even need an e-commerce website to do this. So say you're a jewelry designer, or you've got a small shop and you don't have a website because people come in to buy your products. You don't want to sell online. This is a great way to keep you be able to sell your products. Encourage your followers and customers to share about your business on social media. And then you should share the user-generated content in both your stories and in your feed, so you can thank your followers for shopping or ordering online from you during this time. So think about content that maybe, if you're a restaurant, somebody's taking a picture and posting and tagging your business because they got a fabulous meal at your curbside pickup. Share that. It helps to reinforce to everybody else that's on your news feed that you're open and you're doing business and you're doing a great job with your food. And don't stop trying to sell, but use your content to provide context, to educate your community, to ask for support, and to communicate gratitude. One other thing you can do is video. I didn't put a bullet in here for that, but I do want to mention that. So if you're a restaurant, how about a video, just a quick little one, on how to make a specific dish or a sauce or something that isn't very over involved, that most people might have the contents in their kitchen or could pick up at their next trip to Wegmans, right? Our phones are more like cameras that we can talk through. I don't look at them as phones anymore, because they all come, every time you get a new one, they've got a better camera and video capabilities. That doesn't have to be perfect. It's not like you have to go out and hire a videographer to do this. Just set it up someplace or have someone hold it for you and go for it. You will find that your fans will love something like that. So right now, if you're open but hustling, you want to work smarter and not harder. So you want to create efficient workflows and simplify your process to save time and money, right? So maybe sitting down and using that free Hootsuite scheduling is a great thing for you right now, because maybe you should schedule a week's worth of content, and it's going to allow you more time to actually work on your business than be messing with social media. So I pulled this off of my Facebook feed. Grinnell's is a restaurant over on Monroe Avenue near 12 Corners, and they do a fabulous chicken French. So they have posted some pictures of dropping off some of their food to that they donated to Strong Memorial Hospital. They're feeding the employees. I don't know if you have ever worked there or know anybody that works there, but they have to bring their own meals in. Yes, there's a cafeteria, but they have to go buy it. But I think it's really great how our community is coming together to help out all these wonderful nurses and doctors and everybody else that's working at the hospital. So I saw this and I thought, well, hopefully my two nieces who are physician's assistants over there, and one of their husbands is a physician assistant there also, hopefully they're getting this free meal while they're there working their butts off. So I thought that was a really great way for Grinnell to give back to our community, and they're sharing that information. And this post I pulled off of my feed is Perlo's. It's a restaurant in East Rochester. Fabulous Italian food. Love going there. But she says, happy Wednesday. Even though you can't come inside for dinner and drinks doesn't mean we can't bring them to you on the curbside. Then she talks about how to, they've got menus, family meals, call and get your go-to order. And then she says, see you on the curbside. And it's just so welcoming, because that's the way Donna is at the restaurant. But it still comes across through her social media that she's doing this, that's her warmth, her personality, but that they're able to do curbside. And yes, she does post the posts about the specials for every evening, what they're promoting that evening. But that's how they're keeping and hustling their business. So let's talk about if you're closed. If your business is closed or unable to operate now, you're probably a hairdresser or a barber or a wedding planner or a wedding photographer or a florist. There's tons of people out there that can't be open right now. But your goal for social media is the goal of retention. You want to stay in touch with your existing followers so that you're top of mind when they're able to use your services or book an experience with you. So here's some things you can work on right now. Share some educational videos, whether that's through YouTube or Instagram Live or Instagram TV or Facebook Live. Just get out there and do it. If you've never done it before, experiment. If you don't want to go live, that's fine. Like I said, our phones are great video cameras. I do a lot of video blogs for our business, and sometimes I'll be talking and all of a sudden, blah, 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 the words won't come out right. So I just delete it and start over again. And you can too. So experiment with it, play with it. But if you're closed right now and you can't share things, think about, how to cut your bangs, or I've got long hair and I really need a trim because it's starting to look a little shaggy. So what are some hairstyles that I can do at home right now with my long hair to make it look better? So those are the things that I would be looking for. And I'm sure if you're a hairstylist, that maybe your audience is looking for too. So you've got the time. I recommend you invested it in your business. Run a social media audit. And by that, what a social media audit is taking a look at all of your social media platforms. And we found this with a lot of our clients. You look at your website, and then you look at the different social media platforms you're on. And if somebody went from your website to, say, your Facebook page to your Twitter page, are they going to think they're on different social media or different businesses' pages? Because sometimes you're using a different logo, an old logo, a different picture. Make sure it has that same branded feel. So when somebody goes from one to the other, they know they're on the same business page, it's for the same business. So that's the little round circle on where you'd put your personal face picture. That's where you should put your logo, and then your cover photo. They don't all have to be alike, but they should be similar in that they should be branded. They should have your logo on them someplace. And then go into the background, the back end of your social media. Remember when you set up your business pages, you had to fill in all this information? Well, go back in and make sure that it's all correct. How long ago did you set this up? Is the information still correct? Did you write the Our Story section like in the back end of Facebook? You've got the opportunity to make sure that you've got all of your services, if they have whichever social media you're on, that you've got all your services in there. Maybe you added services since you set up your social media platform. A lot of times you set it up, you go, and you forget about it. Well, now's the time to take a look at all this and make sure everything is correct and up to date and all polished, ready to go, so that when we are in that post-pandemic world, you're ahead of the game, right? You're ahead of everybody else. You've got this done. Have you played with TikTok yet? If you want to learn a little bit more than I can talk about on this presentation, you can go to my website, which is bluelilacmarketing.com, and check out in the blog section, I wrote a blog about TikTok. This is a new video social media platform. It's so much fun. And it's just these little tiny snippets of video, and it may take a little bit to, to understand it and figure out how to make them. But once you get going, it's easy and it's fun. And the best part about it is that you could have 5 followers, create a video, and get 1 million views. So you don't need to have a large following in order to get your content seen. So if you find yourself with some extra time, this is a great investment to make in your brand. I see that we have a question. Aren't there security issues about this? Isn't this company from China? Yes, the company is from China. Yes, there have been some security issues. I think they've gotten them pretty much resolved. If you're not comfortable, you don't have to do this. But look into it, research it, because it is a great way to play with your brand and to get your brand out there. Again, I would be very careful with this company about how much information you fill in on the back end. So take a look at your Pinterest account. Pinterest is really a search engine. It's not a social network, even though it's considered social media. So think about it, when you pin content up there, it can reliably bring you some traffic every month. So if you get started now, it's kind of like when you do SEO on your website, the search engine optimization, that usually takes about 3 months to actually kick in so that you're in the top, searches online. Pinterest pins are the same thing. It takes a while for you to be found, but this is a place to grow your business and put in the right content, the right keywords and phrases that people would search for you on, and it will grow your business. About the time, hopefully, that we're out of this and up and running again, you'll be ready to rock and roll. And then create some healthy habits. And I know we're all supposed to be exercising and eating right and sleeping, whatever. But let's talk about some healthy business habits. So it's a great time to establish these, and they can sustain you all year long. And they can be, starting to schedule a whole month of content at a time. Just sit down and do it. Or set aside maybe 30 minutes a day to engage with some new people on social media, people that you've never talked with. Or start writing a blog. If you started writing a blog now and your goal was just 1 blog a month, you could have 12 blogs written by the time this COVID crisis is over with. And you can write them with the idea of your business when you're back in normal life, right? But start writing now. Take the time to do that. So here's a screen capture of somebody teaching you how to trim your bangs at home and how to cut your husband's hair. Now, I came at mine with some scissors and he ran the other direction. So it doesn't always work, but you can. There are videos out there. So if you are in one of these industries, make a better video and let people know that you're investing in them to keep them looking good and feeling good about themselves during this crisis, if you're a hairstylist or a barber. So what to post if your business as, and I put unusual, it's business as usual, sort of, right? And these are businesses that, maybe don't have to worry because they have a decent amount of cash in the bank and they're in a healthy spot so that their content, their goal of social media would be the goal of awareness. So this is the time to grow your brand, to work on that, to maybe start some new social channels, to start trying out YouTube or create an Instagram TV series. And even if you're not going to pull the trigger on those, you could start with like an Instagram TV series. You could start making the plans for when we are post-pandemic, for pulling that trigger and, work, just be in the planning stages of all this. If you're going to do something like that, videos, I do recommend that you get a light ring because that will make you look so much better. And they're not that expensive. You can definitely get them on Amazon and have it shipped to you. This image here is Deb from Deborah Jean and Company. Deborah Jean is one of our clients, and she's a really fabulous boutique over on Park Avenue near Berkeley, near Gines. And she sells women's clothing as well as some home decor and purses and jewelry. And she has, I snagged this while she was doing a Facebook Live promotion about she's doing curbside pickup and delivery for, you want to buy something for Mother's Day, right? So, and if she's on here, I'm sorry, Deb, I got you with your mouth open. It's not the best picture, but I just snagged it while you were talking. So she's talking, she's showing some beautiful candles, and these smell delicious because I do have some that you could, if you want to give something to your mom besides a gift certificate, right? You want to give her something that you can wrap and give her for Mother's Day, because that's what, Sunday? You can reach out to Deb and she'll take care of you. So that's what she's doing for her brand. That's how she's keeping her business going. So keep in mind that this COVID-19 isn't a market opportunity. Shouldn't be looking at it as something to capitalize on. Even though it's not quite business as usual, every post, every campaign, and every ad that you run needs to have a layer of care and empathy in it. And it's okay to continue to market and sell your products or services because you've got a business to run and you've got bills to pay and you've got food to put on your table, right? But just don't use the COVID-19 as a platform to self-promote. So take a look at your social media plans and your business goals. If you haven't already, now's the time to reflect on any existing plans you've got for this quarter or next quarter. So many of the campaigns and maybe content that you had planned might be better saved for another time. Rethink your content and social media plans to change them, to tailor them to the changing needs of your consumers right now. It's also a good time to reflect on any goals that you have for the coming months, as priorities may need to change. For example, new customer acquisition goals might shift towards the focus on customer retention and support. It's kind of hard to go out and get new customers now, but you want to keep the ones you've got so that you're at least on a level playing field when you start back. And how can your company help? So not every business fits into the COVID-19 conversation, but with that said, every business globally is being impacted in some way by COVID-19. And there might be some small things that your business can do to help in these moments. So I'm going to bring Deborah Jean back up again. Deb does not sell surgical caps in her shop, but she does sew. So what she's been doing, because she's not in her store behind the counter and helping customers, she's home and she's been making these caps. Now, you see, she doesn't need to make masks for the hospitals because they wear completely different kinds of masks than we do when we're shopping at Wegmans, right? But the surgical caps are part of the PPE that they need. So she's been sewing surgical caps, and this is a thank you post from the Unity Family Birth Center, thanking her for her donation of surgical caps. She's been sewing these, dropping these off at various different hospitals, along with discount coupons for her business. So don't you think some of these nurses and doctors, when they actually come up for air and we're back open, will go shopping at her store? And then she's reposting, like I said, to repost your user content and sharing this on her timeline. So A, she gets points for helping out her community. B, she's, doing some good, and she's promoting her business to this market that maybe never even heard of her before, right? So this is a great way that you can give back, even if your business has nothing to do with her business, but she is doing this and posting it under her business. you want to communicate clearly with your customers. It's always better to over communicate than under communicate, especially in times of crisis. So if you're closing your office and your team is working from home, and that isn't impacting your customers, that may not be something that you necessarily have to share. But if your team is working from home and it's going to impact customer service response times or delivery times, that is something that you should share with your customers. And because so many companies are impacted by this crisis, and they're all communicating with people that follow their brands, consumers are getting so much information, it can be overwhelming. Just consider, when you're sharing information, you need to just focus on conveying key messages. Don't share and overshare too much information, but don't write an epistle is what I'm saying. Keep them updated on stuff, over communicate in that respect, but don't share information they don't really need to know about. So just make sure that you give them time. If there's things that are changing in your industry that they may need to readjust, your consumers may need to, some time to react to, depends on your industry. And support your team. If you've got employees, you want to keep them in the loop on things. So communicating with them is just as important as communicating with your customers. And, work's going to look a little different for all of us for a while, so just keep a close contact with each member and set expectations around what work's going to look like for the next, few weeks or months, depending on how soon we can all get back to work. So you need to adjust your brand's voice. Regardless of your opinion about how the outbreak is being handled, everyone should be using crisis protocols for their social media. But don't let that intimidate you. All right, that basically means watching your tone, apologize if you make a mistake, and show empathy. Use those 5 guiding principles I talked about at the beginning. Listen and acknowledge, keep posting, be empathetic, provide organic value, and ask for help. So again, I can't emphasize this enough. Just make sure your scheduled posts are appropriate. If you haven't checked on them, please do, because nothing will make your business look so out of touch as a post that talks about come in for a sale or schedule an appointment, something like that. Realize that your followers may have loved ones suffering from this coronavirus or at high risk for complications from it. So keep your tone empathetic and upbeat. Supporting and encouraging others is a positive for your business. Never make light of the virus or the recommendations to prevent it. Don't question whether these protocols are needed. Don't mention anything that indicates that you're not following the protocols, and avoid all discussions of the politics of it unless it's on brand for your business. If you are a lobbying firm, a lobbyist, yeah, go ahead, that's your business. But don't, and this doesn't just apply to the COVID-19 crisis. This is for everything. You don't, unless it's on brand for your business, don't bring politics into your business. You're going to turn off customers and potential customers from posting that type of information. So if any of your business practices have changed, like if you are open but at reduced hours, or you're working from home and your hours have changed, update that, not only in your social media posts, but if you have a Google My Business section, put that information in there too. You can go back in and change it when the world comes back to the new normal, right? And if you post updates about the virus on your social media, you can do that on your business profile, or your personal profile, I should say. But if you're going to post anything, make sure it's from a trusted source, a highly trusted source, such as a CDC. You don't want to be accused of spreading misinformation. I don't recommend that you post updates about the virus on your business account, except for maybe local information from trusted sources. Excuse me, I'm not used to talking this much anymore. Except from trusted resources about trusted sources about resources from around our community. So social media is where most people are learning about this crisis. There are about 3.5 billion people worldwide on social media. So that means about 45% of the world's population is on social media, consuming and sharing information about the coronavirus. And with the fast-moving nature of social platforms combined with the ease of retweeting and sharing, that means social media etiquette really matters during this time of uncertainty. So etiquette is loosely defined as the conventional, unwritten practices followed by members of a certain behavior or activity. And now it applies to the virtual world. Rather than freely posting anything and everything, right, onto social media, there's more than ever an unspoken code of conduct driving interactions and posts on social sites. And this means being extremely cautious or avoiding humor when referencing COVID-19, making sure your posts are in line with your overall business strategy, and only sharing information from credible sources. So let's talk about Facebook. Before you create a Facebook post, stop and consider the content, especially as the world combats this coronavirus pandemic. Imagine your post appears next to a serious update about the coronavirus. Is it missing the mark? Does it appear to lack sympathy and compassion? That empathy I was talking about. So proactively share the types of information that your users are seeking, such as updates about how you're keeping employees and customers safe, changes in your business operations, and definitely any sales, promotions, discounts, special promotions. Put that up there. You want to give additional sensitivity and care to your posts. A lot of people are, like I said before, they're flocking to social media because they're biding their time while they're quarantining. And you want to have the back end of your business page updated so that they've got all the right information about your business. And you want to build a lasting relationship with your fans from a distance. And keep posting, because if they can't find you on social media, they're less likely to trust that you're still open for business. Whether that means now they can place an order online, or that you'll be back in business when we're all set free from our homes, right? So let's talk about Twitter. If you're not familiar with Twitter, it's a messaging communication tool that allows you to send out messages known as tweets of up to 280 characters long. So users are tuning into Twitter for anything from the latest news to updates about schools and businesses and how to support local businesses and not-for-profits. And part of the reason that we're on Twitter for news is that 26%, or approximately 26% of the accounts on Twitter are media. So those are the journalists. Those are the Berkeley Breen and Ginny Ryan, all those people from our local TV stations and our DNC reporters. They're all on Twitter. So you want to retain customers during this crisis, and you want to show them how you're supporting your community and your customers. Even if it doesn't mean include your products and services, kind of like the example I showed you of Deborah Jean with her surgical scrubs. Nothing to do with her business, but she is supporting our community. And Twitter's a great place to get that information out. Also a great place for the media to pick up a story about you doing that. So keep that in mind as a way to promote your business and get more awareness of you out there. So you're going to retain more customers and potential customers by tweeting good news and helpful information than, the sky is falling kind of information. So let's talk about retweets, because that's something that you can do on Twitter. So the idea of retweeting comes with a two-pronged etiquette custom. The first prong is you need to understand that not every tweet is retweetable. So don't feel you have to retweet everything, or know that not every tweet you put out there will be retweeted. The second one is if someone retweets one of your tweets, gets confusing here, it's polite to thank them for sharing your ideas. So you go in and you tag them and say thank you. That is etiquette on Twitter. Also on Twitter, now I didn't talk about hashtags on Facebook because hashtags on Facebook don't do a darn thing. But on Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, hashtags are important. So you want to use hashtags to join relevant conversations. So they also, so you want to tweet about what's important, right? What people are caring about, what they're thinking about and talking about right now. You want to join those conversations. And, you know, hashtags are a great way to give your social media messaging higher visibility and greater reach, but you need to use them sparingly so they, on Twitter, so they don't detract from your key message. Twitter recommends no more than 2 hashtags per tweet. Instagram, I'll talk about that right now. Instagram, since we're talking hashtags, Instagram is 9 to 11 hashtags, and LinkedIn, I think, is like 3 to 4. So just keep that in mind when you are posting. If you're looking to identify trending hashtags, so you can join in on conversations, check out a site called Hashtagify, HASTAGIFY.com. And that will give you a whole list of hashtags. Put in a topic and you'll get the hashtags for it. Okay, LinkedIn. This site differs from Facebook and Twitter in that it's a professional-based site first and used for social reasons second. So as the world of work has changed, you know, businesses are negotiating new challenges like adapting to and managing remote work. So from a professional site point of view, you should share tips that are going to resonate with your audience. Maybe advice on working from home or crisis management advice and suggestions for supporting employees. You can also use LinkedIn to network with customers and maybe even brainstorm with some competitors to set your business up for success when recovery does come. Instagram, love Instagram. It's a photo and video sharing network site, excuse me. Mostly photos. Like I said, videos work here, but it's mostly a photo networking site. And this is a place where you can use these images to really promote your business and provide updates about what's going on in your business. And just like Facebook, use your business page. It's got different rules than your personal page. No memes, no funny stuff.
Hey, Lori, there's a question, if you could address it from
Oh,
Indiana.
number of hashtags appropriate for LinkedIn, 3 to 4. They're not very big into the hashtags, but thank you. I'm sorry, I did not see that. So if you're using Instagram and you're putting up video, you just want to make sure that it's a good quality video and your audio is crystal clear. YouTube, I love YouTube. It is the second, it's a great search engine. In fact, it's the second largest search engine in the world only after Google, and it's owned by Google, which is kind of cool. So right now, users view more than 1 billion hours of video every day on YouTube. And I think it's even higher now from what I was reading because of this coronavirus. Everybody's looking for ways to cut their hair, right? So this is a great platform for you to share useful videos and business tips. When you're using it for your business, like any other social media platform, only post content that's going to be of interest to your target audience. You could start a video series and share your expertise now, if you're, especially if you've got the time. And you're sure to gain traction because of all the people that are flocking to social media because they're bored. Video blog, known as vlogging, excuse me, I've got to get a drink here, otherwise I'm going to lose my voice. Like I said, I'm not used to talking this much all at once anymore. I got to get back into the swing of things, right? Okay, vlogging is video blogging. I do that for our business, and it's a great way to provide some really good business information, and it positions you as a thought leader. And that's a really great place to start if you're looking to do um, blogging and videos all at the same time. You don't have to write it, you just have to speak it. So here's some recommendations for content while we're having this COVID crisis. You want to stay away from any discussions about travel, dining out, or attending events that may sound like you're doing them right now. Instead, talk about those things clearly in the past or the future tenses, saying something like, "These are things I'd love to do when things return to normal." So don't confuse people that you're out there, you know, traveling to Aruba or whatever. I know it's your business page, but depending on your business, you may want to share things that you can do at home with kids. You know, you may want to ask some questions. Questions are a great way to engage people on social media. So you may want to share some movies you've watched and maybe ask, hey, I'm looking for some recommendations for good movies for this weekend. I know my husband and I have been watching movies like crazy, and he's not a movie person, but we've been doing that because we're all stuck in. So you can ask about those things. You know, if there's anything you can do with kids, if you have any ideas of that, or any fun meals to cook, especially if you're a restaurant. Like I said, take a video of a quick way to whip up a simple meal. Your fans will appreciate that. So providing tips relative, you know, for your industry that people can do at home. So again, it depends on your industry. If you are an interior decorator, rip apart a bookcase and show people how to style the bookcase so it looks beautiful instead of just crammed full of books and tchotchkes, right? Or if you're a gardener or a nursery owner, do a video about or write a post about how to repot a plant, or tips about when we should or shouldn't be putting stuff outside in our gardens, because right now we've got, you know, freezes at night. So no annuals should be out. You know, share that kind of information. Feel free to mention the coronavirus, COVID-19, and social distancing, all right? You can name them, you know, you can use those names, or you can be more subtle about it. Because it's massive news, and not mentioning it all may seem unsympathetic, right? But you don't need to talk about it in all of your posts. You can go for 30 to 50% of your posts that have, you know, just a subtle mention of it. You want to stay on top of your comments, mentions, and messages. Your supporters are going to appreciate you being present and listening to them. You know, and at times like these, I'm going to talk about some uncomfortable things, but, you know, tempers and panic can flare up. And you may have seen a rise in negative comments on your social media posts, which have nothing to do with you and everything to do with the frustration that people are feeling right now. And as always, you should respond to all of your comments, but do it with the utmost of respect and empathy. People who are reacting hostily may just be highly stressed. Don't argue, just diffuse the situation. And this is information and advice that I give to our clients all the time. Never have an argument with somebody on social media. Even if you quote unquote win, you will lose, because people will look at you as a jerk for doing that. Take it offline. Ask them to private message you and manage it offline. You can always come back with, you know, situation is being resolved, you know, and talk about the resolution if you want, or not. A lot of our restaurant clients, you know, you get people that no matter what you do, you're never going to make them happy, right? We all know people like that. And of course, they finish the entire meal, but it was terrible, and they want a refund, or they want a free meal, or they want whatever. So instead of arguing with them online, take it offline. And if you decide to offer them a free meal or something like that as a resolution to the argument or to their issue, Do that offline. Don't mention it online because you'll have everybody complaining, wanting their free meal too. So just keep that in mind, that you do need to manage these comments and your reaction to them. So you need to consider messaging around maybe these topics. Resources. You can provide information that you think would be truly helpful to your supporters and their loved ones. Resources could include healthcare, where to get a free meals, any financial relief, maybe sharing the information that Jan put out there about how to reach out to the SBDC for help with the business loans that they've got going, and other resources like the information I shared with you about Hootsuite. That's a resource for my industry that I would share with my customers and clients. So how is your business responding to the pandemic? Let your supporters know what they can expect from you during this time. What are your priorities during this time? It could be a dramatic shift to help with the crisis or a promise to just stay the course. How is your business making an impact on the pandemic? Or conversely, how is the pandemic making an impact on you? For example, if you're out delivering food to the homeless, share a link for other people to volunteer and join the effort with you. But on the other hand, if your business is maybe an after-school program and it's been shut down, share a link where people can donate. Believe me, yesterday was Giving Tuesday, and it's usually done online anyhow. People are donating during this time. If you're a not-for-profit, if you're a business that takes donations, ask. People don't know you need something unless you ask. Your supporters have probably helped you and buoyed you through both, before and during this pandemic. So if you're one of those hustling businesses, just, take a moment to tell them how grateful you are, how thankful you are. We could all use a little gratitude right now. Update your supporters and your followers on whether your in-person events have been postponed, canceled, or retooled to take place online, like this one. Normally, I would have been at the Kate Gleason Auditorium from 10 to 12:30 talking about social media for your business, where we go in depth on all the different platforms, including blogging, to see which ones are best for your business. But because we're in a completely different world this year, we are different topic and we're doing it online. I will share, one of my friends is a Mary Kay person, and she's been doing, and I don't have little kids, but she's been doing this scavenger hunt, I think a couple times a month at night, like around 6:30, 7 o'clock after the dinner hour, an online scavenger hunt where families can participate. And it's kind of fun. I've talked to her about it, and the kids are enjoying it. And the families are enjoying it because it's something different to do. And then mom gets, if they win, mom gets a prize. It could be some product, or it could be a discount on product, or a coupon for something. So it's a win-win for everybody, right? And she's just staying top of mind with her customers. And inspiration is so important. You want to pass along messages and photos or videos just for the simple purpose of brightening spirits and promoting self-care. These are a couple screenshots I snagged from Blue Lilac Marketing's Twitter account that I've posted recently. This one was from the other day. The image says, "I've replaced feeling like a victim with total accountability for my actions." And then in the content I wrote, be accountable for your actions, work from home, stay home, and I think it says stay safe. I can't see because there's stuff on the screen. And this one that I posted in April, support your local business, order online and tip extra. Because the content says if your favorite neighborhood spots do not get help, they might not be able to reopen. Support local, order online and tip extra. So shopping local is important to us as a small business, and we try to really support our local businesses. We're involved in it. Our Gates Tri-Lake Chamber of Commerce, we've run the Shop Local program for them. Small businesses are the heartbeat of our community, and it's very important that we get the support. That's why Jan and his SBDC and is important for helping us in that. And Jennifer at the library, if you have business questions, you need some research done, they are there to help you with everything. So as a small business, take advantage of all the areas that we've got in our community that can help you. So let's use the lessons of the present to build for our future. We know that when the restrictions are lifted, that people are going to be off doing things that they couldn't be doing. They're going to be jumping offline. They're going to be running to visit friends and family. I know I will be. They're going to want to go to the gym. Oh God, yes. They're going to be going to church in person. They're going to, go to the library. They're going to go to restaurants. They're going to be out of the house doing things. Some of the things I've read, not all, but some say that the recovery might be gradual rather than a strong rebound for the economy. So you need to know that the marketing strategies that we've talked about here today for this crisis are going to become obsolete. Social media will be a habit for everybody because they've had months, or probably a couple of months of this becoming habit. They've been using it for shopping and gaming and keeping in touch and other activities, right? But you have to keep in mind when we are in the post-pandemic world that your social media should be using the marketing's 80-20 rule. 80% of your posts need to educate, inform, and entertain. The other 20% can be selling. Right now, all your posts should be educating, informing, and entertaining with very subtle selling in there. No 20% selling. You're going to want to research your customers' priorities and values because they could emerge from this crisis with very different priorities, values, and attitudes, all of which could impact how they want to spend their time and their money. And for these reasons, it's important that you research how your clients' habits are changing. You're going to want to create a new buyer persona, and that's a whole nother marketing class. But as the world goes increasingly digital, so will your marketing. And what you need to do is respond with updated strategies and buyer personas for this different post-pandemic world that we will see. Social media is an essential tool for communicating with your audience, especially during this public health crisis. But it's poised to continue for continued growth. And when recovery comes, people are going to continue to spend time on these platforms. When you're active on social media through a campaign that you've implemented or a reactive comment, your brand gains traction. Therefore, be sure that you're proactive and on your best behavior when engaging on social media so that you can avoid making mistakes. This is also going to ensure that your followers feel important and they feel heard, which will in turn continue to build loyalty to your brand. You need to lean into the digital way of working and connecting with customers, knowing that this is going to have likely have lasting effects with them. Do the things that we talked about earlier to prepare yourself and to position your business. Explore some new social media platforms that you haven't been using. Do that social media audit to look at yourself behind the scenes. Is all the information correct? Are all the keywords and phrases that people would search for you, are those all in there? Is all that information up to date? Make sure it is so that when this is all over with, you come out ahead of your competitors. Start blogging. This is the time that you've got the time now. If you're not one of those ones hustling like a crazy person, take that time to start blogging. It's important. Use that Hootsuite, that free Hootsuite right now to start scheduling your posts. You'll see how easy it is. I love that I can be out a whole day of networking and client meetings and knowing that I've got things going to Twitter, to LinkedIn, to Pinterest, to Instagram, all these different social media platforms. and I don't have to do anything that day. I can just go on with my appointments and all my social media information is popping up. And use video. That is what's king on social media right now. Use video to create a video blog. If you don't want to write, you can talk it. Use video to educate, to create videos that will educate and maybe entertain too your customers. So that's all I have right now. I have no idea what time it is. I didn't get interrupted by a lot of questions, but there's my contact information for anyone that wants to talk. Feel free to email me. That's probably the best way to reach out to me, because I am on Zoom meetings a lot. So my phone will ring and I won't be there. But feel free to ask any questions.
Yeah, does anyone have any questions for Lori? Going once, going, oh, PowerPoint?
I don't mind getting people out early.
Yep.
Okay, if you can only focus on 1 to 2 social media, what do you recommend? Oh, Rini, that all depends on your business. You could be, if you are a person that your audience is a professional, if you're doing B2B, LinkedIn is where you need to be. If you want to sell, Facebook is where most people are, and Instagram is really taking off. And like I said, Twitter is great because all the media is there. If you're doing stuff, and start following media on Twitter and posting things and sharing things with them, that maybe that will cause a story to happen about your business. What's one good strategy to start today? Well, there were several of those things I mentioned at the end about, doing that social media audit, exploring some new social media platforms. I don't recommend that everybody do 2, 3, or 4 platforms. I do them all because that's my business. I have to know how they work and whether they work so that I can tell you, don't do this or do this. But take a look at a couple of ones where, do your research, or reach out to the library and they can help you with your research to see which ones are where your audience is at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think, depending on your clients, are they young? Are they older? Are they kids?
Right.
It's
exactly.
just going to depend,
And so that's what my normal presentation today would have been about. I would have talked about each social media platform in depth to talk about, here's the target audience, here's the ages that are, normally there, all that kind of information. So you could choose which 1 or 2 to work with. I recommend for businesses that aren't that are fairly new, to start with 1 and work that, and then go on to another one. Don't start them all at once because nothing will get done.
Lori, can you repeat the website for finding hashtags?
It's Hashtagify. You know what? Let me put that in here on. It's hashtagify.com. That's where you can find all of the hashtags. Just type in a topic and you will find all the hashtags relevant to that topic so that you can use those in your social media. Snapchat can be fun as well, and that's definitely for a much younger audience. And did you recorded this, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So it will be on YouTube in the near future.
Okay.
I think, was there one question? Oh, could you provide the PowerPoint, Lori?
Well, that'll be on the recording.
Oh, that's true. It'll be on the YouTube. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
Some great questions. Thank you, guys. So how many people did we have on today?
34.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah, thank you everyone for our division assistant, she will send out the URL to everyone that registered once it's up on YouTube.
Terrific. That means I'll get it too, right?
That's correct.
And I will share that on my social media also.
Yes.
And just keep in mind, folks, if you want to follow Blue Lilac Marketing on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or name a social media platform. I do have, every Monday, I do a Marketing Monday tip. I do share a lot of blogs on social media and other types of marketing for small businesses. So feel free to follow us, and maybe you'll find some information that'll help out your business. And I am always available if you have a quick question or anything. Just shoot me an email and maybe we can set up a time to talk. I never charge for a conversation. I would charge you if I'm actually going to do work for you, but I won't charge. We don't charge if we're going to just have a conversation and give you some advice. And especially now, I have the time. For most of the time, I have the time to be able to talk to people, and I enjoy that because I'm bored during the day sometimes. I shouldn't say that. We're still busy with client work, but it's kind of nice to take a break from that and talk to somebody new and different and help them out. And we're all about, Mary and I are all about giving back. We used to belong to BNI, and their motto is "Givers Gain," and that is so true. That when we give back, we get back more than we give. So I'm glad y'all had a good time. I'm glad you found it informative. Thank you for attending.
Yeah.
Hopefully the sun will come out this afternoon. You can, at least enjoy some sunshine, even if it's a little chilly out.
Yeah. Yeah. So thank you again, everyone. Our June program will also be, we'll go a little more in depth in marketing. So you can register for that at the library's website, which is rockcitylibrary.org, and we'll go into the events calendar. So be on the lookout for that.
Laura, this is Jan. I want to thank you for doing the program, and it was a great, excellent program with some good advice for people to consider. The social media and certainly promotion and marketing is going to be key in getting everyone back on their feet. There are other considerations as well that businesses who have been kind of in a shutdown mode at this point need to be thinking about. So consider updating your business plan. And certainly if you need assistance, as I mentioned earlier, we are available to meet with you one-on-one. We can do this phone, Skype, Zoom, or what have you. Price is right. We don't charge for what we do. We do work in conjunction with the library. So please keep that in mind as you're starting to think about emerging from all this. I wish everybody the best of luck going forward, and hopefully we'll see everybody next month.
All right. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Stay safe. Stay sane.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.